So this is your 30th anniversary in Miami. You have endured ups and downs and changes in the market. So this is not an easy feat in this transient city to have that kind of long game and endurance. So what would be your advice to a young new architect, or maybe not so new, but new to the city, maybe somebody that is coming from another country to work here?
I came to Miami. I'm, I, I was born in 62 in a third world country that became a first world country, which is Israel. I did not see a TV set until I came to New York. I saw a TV set in 1974, 2 months before I came to the United States. When I came to the United States, to Brooklyn, Ocean Parkway, I saw a color TV set, right? And then, and then it, I came to Miami in 1988, and Miami was a place that was like somebody left it in time about 40 years before, right? There was the Deco district. It was beautiful, and no, it was untouched, and it was chalky, and a bunch of Cubans that came by boat. And I thought was, wow, look at these people. They speak a different language, right? And they're like so similar to my background where I was born in Israel, the way they talk. And then when I grew up in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is a very Midwestern community, yet very liberal, it was very cultured. And I came to Miami and I saw this beautiful architecture and I was attracted to it. And I was attracted that it was derelict and it was left alone. And it was an opportunity to see things in a completely different light than most people would. I saw the beauty in it, and I think that if you are lucky enough in life to look for the positive things that you will see in life, you will find a happier place. And I'll give you a few examples, right? So that was 1988. I went to the Caribbean and I worked for this British company. And I just felt lucky to be in the Caribbean to sketch on a napkin, and then a few months later they would be pouring concrete based on the sketches that you would make. And they would be building it. In 2008, I landed in Angola. Angola is in Africa, in a city called Luanda. And I went there as an architect, and they needed an architect. And they have some of the most beautiful, it's a Portuguese colony that became a country. It had a lot of civil war and strife, and it has beautiful minerals and energy, and it has beautiful architecture, white, like Miami, like Deco style, beautiful architecture. And I landed there, and they said, oh, come, we'll take a look at these buildings. We want you to design these hotels, and we'll pay for your flight and all this nonsense. And I go there, and they pick me up and say, oh, come, we're going to drive to this town called Luanda. And so what happened is that we're driving to Luanda, which is 8 hours away. And we're driving, and these guys don't talk very much. And so I got to go to the bathroom, and I say, don't we have to pull over to put gas? And he turns around to me, and they're Brazilian, they're very Portuguese about it. So, no, I can just keep on going until I get there. And he says, you're not very smart, are you? The guy tells me. No, I said, no, I'm not very smart. So I said, why am I not very smart, right? And I said, because there's the car is a gas propane car, and they just keep on driving with extra tanks. And so it just shows you how primitive you are, right? You think you're smart American, and these folks are ahead of you. Well, so I went there, Luanda, it's beautiful, and I designed this hotel, and the next day they bring me back I went to Kyoto, I came back back to Luanda because that's where I need to take a flight from. And I'm sitting in a room, and this company is a big company, and they were competing against the Portuguese in putting infrastructure. They needed to put cable and wireless and new thing that they just came up with. It's called internet, and they wanted to put cables on the road. So the Portuguese and the Brazilians were at $1 million a kilometer. The Chinese were at $1 million a mile, because the Chinese would sleep on the site, right? They would eat, drink, and they would sleep right there. And so this guy said, "Oh, so what do you think we should do?" And this and that. So I'm sitting in the back and just having a good time listening to this conversation. And I said to him, "Well, I don't know why you guys are so busy burying the cables. In the Caribbean, what we do is we just have, at every little village, in every little town, we put an antenna, and we just put on it the cellular, and we have a generator at the bottom which runs on diesel, and all we have to do is refuel the diesel, and that's how everybody gets power. Everybody gets the screens. You don't need electricity, you just need low voltage. And we have immediate internet and Wi-Fi. And that's how they got the contract. So the guy who told me I was stupid in the car changed his mind on the way back to the airport. But it just shows you how technology was able to move forward real quick. And the same thing happened in Miami. I came in Miami in 1988. It was like Miami Vice and Scarface days. Nobody knew where Miami is. And when I work in Abu Dhabi and I tell them I'm from Miami, they all go, "Wow, you know, I'm a sheikh," right? Or I just finished a 750-room hotel in Saudi Arabia, in a town called Mecca. And I think I'm the only American who's finished a 750-room hotel in Mecca, which is for people who are not Sunnis or Shiite, because Mecca is controlled by Shiite, by Reza family, and Sunni is controlled by Saudi. But people come from Malaysia and the Philippines, and they're like different Muslims, as they call them. I designed a 750-room hotel for them. So, and they take pride in that. They're proud to have an American, Israeli-born, Jewish architect. Huh? Oy vey. They actually, they put it, you know, I get Google notices with my name, and it says Kobi Karp Nobola, Nobola, which is the name of the development company in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And so I call him up. I said, "Why'd you put my name on it? Aren't you guys afraid?" He goes, "No, we're proud of that. We're very proud of that." And he goes, "Especially your partner. Your partner is a Shiite from Gaza, you know, Palestinian." Yeah, it's true. The local architect is. So, you know, the world is extremely small. It's smaller today than it has been in ever. And everybody knows, I mean, you know more about me now in a very quick fashion, and it's very easy to find out about anybody. When I first landed in Abu Dhabi, everybody had BlackBerries. When I landed in Saudi Arabia 3 years later, you know, people just Googled me before I came into the room. And so you know the way people look at you right now, whether they know things about you. I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. But it's comforting for people to know about you. And when people know who they're standing in front of and who they're talking to, it's like you said, you know, oy vey, but Jewish people, when they go to temple, on top of the ark, which has the Bible that everybody has, is that it says, know who you stand in front of. And if you know who you're facing and who you're talking to, they become your friend. That's it.